everyone why we're out here marching in Southwest Detroit this week. And that has to do with a federal program called Operation Legend. And it's basically an addition of federal dollars and federal agents in the city of Detroit to combat violent crime and gang crime. But I want to make it very clear that this is not something that's new. Federal agents have been in Detroit for decades fighting this violent crime that they speak of. And I always wonder, like, if you guys have been here for decades and you're still fighting the same thing, then what are you doing? But I just want to make it very clear that they've been here for decades just under a different name, and they just continue to change the name to keep it fresh and new. So the issue with bringing federal agents into Detroit to fight gang crime and violent crime and guns and whatnot is that it's really not a true solution to the problem. And when federal agents come in to fight that crime takes place in our neighborhoods. So where are they going to go? To our neighborhoods, to surveil and to harass black and brown bodies. And a federal agent is a federal agent is a federal agent. So if they get more agents under this Operation Legend, that means they're still affiliated with the federal agency called ICE. Which means that there's additional ICE agents coming to our neighborhoods, harassing our immigrant community. Now, what we can do with those millions of dollars that actually the city of Detroit, the mayor and the chief, spent and applied for to get these federal agents here. Yeah, they asked them to come here and paid them to come here with our tax dollars to solve a problem that they created and that they can't fix themselves. And the reason why it's not fixed is because they don't want it to be fixed. Because this is the way that they make money. It's a way they make money. It's not profitable to have a happy and healthy society. So they continue to circulate the weapons and the drugs in our communities. So, what we are out here saying is that we don't want federal agents. We don't want ICE agents. If we get federal dollars, and we want federal dollars as well, we want those dollars to be invested in the people, invest in the communities, provide stability with housing, rebuild our schools, improve our communities, community centers, create mental health services and rehabilitation structures so that people don't feel the need to resort to violent crime. So that's why we say we don't want no feds in the city. I just want to remind everyone and make it very clear that we do not want federal agents in Detroit harassing our communities, harassing our brothers and sisters in the immigrant communities. Because black liberation means liberation for all. And I'll leave you guys with that.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Y'all sleep? Y'all look sleep, y'all. Good. I'm tired. Can't believe I'm here again today. No, we gotta be hyped. What's good, y'all? Woo! Well, I didn't even have anything to say, but I guess I'll share this with you. Or for those who don't know, my name's Adam. I'm organizing with Detroit OB. And, you know, if you look me up, whatever, whoever follow me, all that stuff, you will see that, you know, I'm trying to be a professional musician. And I've gotten a lot of you know? Because people were like, you know, what are you doing? You know, this is your life. You get hurt, your career is over. You know, if one thing happens, you know, as you all know, for those that was there, you had to jump off a moving car. Crazy. But for me, this movement, Detroit will breathe, Black Lives Matter, it is top priority for me. For me, it is bigger than my musical career. Because there is no musical career for me if I'm dead or incarcerated, you know, period. There is nothing for Black lives if you are dead or can't succeed in this country. So that's why I'm out here. I'm out here because there's too much oppression everywhere around the world, honestly. But also right in our faces, in Detroit, in the nation, you know, and I can't just sit at home and comment behind Facebook and just give my opinion, you know. I can't just share a picture supporting Black lives, you know. I can't just do that for me. And, you know, like, some people might have called y'all are extremists, and they call me an extremist for being out here. And I'm just like, no. I mean, maybe in your mind, but I'm just active. And that's what the word activist means, to be active. Yeah, so I don't regret not one bit being out here. I don't regret not one bit marching with y'all every day. This is 78. This is day 77. I'm gonna keep being out here. You know, I'm gonna keep saying what I gotta say. I'm gonna keep playing the trumpet. Some days I gotta take breaks though, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know because it's a lot. that's a lot. But you know, yeah, for me, this is bigger than my musical career. Because straight up, there is nothing, no musical career if we did in person or anything. Like a policeman could just hit me in the lip with a nightstick. I'm done. Like straight up. But I'm risking that. For the movement. For Black lives. For the future. Because who gonna do it? Who else gonna do it? Who else gonna be out here? Somebody gotta be out here. So it's y'all. It's us. And like I keep saying, we gonna keep being out here until we get some fucking justice. I love y'all.
Hey everybody, what up though? I'm Sammy, I'm an organizer with Detroit will Breathe. Somebody had actually just brought it to our attention that a lot of people haven't caught on to the Spanish chants 100%. So I do want to kind of go over those a little bit. So one of the ones we do say is Tu lucha es mi lucha. So I'm going to have you say it with me. Tu lucha. Es mi lucha. Tu lucha es mi lucha.
and that means your fight is my fight. So that's why we say that. We're pissed off as we say that. It's important that in these Southwest neighborhoods that we are chanting in Spanish, because a lot of people, that is their native language and first language. So the other one we say is El Pueblo Unido Jamás Será Vencido, and that means sorry. Thank you. Yeah, no, it actually translates to defeated, but our chant is divided. But that, I'm gonna have you say that one with me because it's a little bit longer. El Pueblo Unido Jamás Será Vencido. El Pueblo Unido Jamás será vencido. So again, that is the people united will never be defeated or divided. So I didn't want to go over that. Again, it's really important in these neighborhoods that we are talking in Spanish and chanting in Spanish, because we do want everyone to remember that this is our fight, and that includes everybody, and it's a global movement. So we're going to continue doing those chants in these neighborhoods while we're here. And that's all I wanted to say.
March 31st, I went to jail. March 31st was the night of the incident. Let me correct. April 1st, I went to jail. The cops were harassing me. I spent $3,000 on community goods at GNC, probiotics, veggie powder, protein powder, whatever you want to call it. I spent 10 minutes behind the building parked too long. Wayne State Police, over 25 officers threatened to harass me. I spent 2 weeks in jail. My family didn't know I was alive. I didn't know if I was going to get out. I spent a lot of time requesting medical attention, and I didn't get it. So let me ask you this. Out of all of you here, how much of that would mean life or death for you? If you didn't get medical attention for 2 weeks and you had a severe allergy, what would you do? If you had a very delicate palate, what would you do? If you spent a lot of time outdoors and you had to spend 2 weeks indoors, cuts on your feet, no shoes, no mattress, what would you do? Are you ready to actually do this? Because all it takes is one bad day for the cops. And you guys are in that situation where your families don't know you're alive. How many of you are actually ready for that? Okay, do you know what a felony means for your life? Do you know what a felony means? I'm charged with 2. Do you know what a felony actually means?
Yes, sir. I was born in Detroit.
You cannot vote. You cannot get student aid. You do not qualify for most jobs. Do you know what a felony means for your life? Are you ready to risk a felony for documenting the police harassing you? If you are you ready for your family to deal with somebody who is a felon? Who is a convict? What do your friends say about you when you can't normally do the things that you want to do? What are you going to do? What is your supply of income for the rest of your life? If you don't have those answers, take a little bit longer, because it's worth it. It's worth it to think about that stuff. That's all I have to say.
What up, what up, what up?
What up, Dwayne?
What up, though? What up, Dwayne? The organizer of Detroit Blues. How everybody feeling today? Alrighty. Thank y'all so much for coming out again. So we can keep being in these streets and fighting back and all that, And I really want to give y'all another thanks for paying a tribute to my friend Sharif. I really thank y'all so much for that. And also thank y'all for coming out in my community and engaging with my community. I really appreciate that. I'm just trying to spend a little time, and get back to this. But yeah, here's the man.
Hey everyone, my name is Iman. I'm part of the Yemeni Liberation Movement, and thank you. So, I was supposed to prepare a solidarity statement about things that we're going to be going through a neighborhood that has a lot of Yemenis and Yemeni immigrants, and we're planning a protest for the Yemen war to end the Saudi arms deal that the U.S. has been complicit in by selling weapons of mass destruction. So our protest is going to be in Homecoming from August 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's also the first time we're heading Homecoming. So this should be pretty exciting. There's a lot of intersectionality that goes on in Homecoming. But I just want to say what really got me into getting ready for Yemen is I have family members that are over there that send me pictures daily. And we've let our children down. We've let our children down. 85,000 children have already starved to death. There are 22 million people who are experiencing starvation right now because of the Saudi blockade. We cannot let this continue. We have let these people down. We have let my people down. We have let our children down. We have let our brothers and sisters down, our cousins and siblings, our mothers and fathers. There's no such thing as borders. There's no such thing as borders. We are a collective. We gotta cut this shit of individualism that the U.S. has done a really great job of implementing in our heads. We are all together. Whatever happens over there, we feel the pain here. And whatever pain we feel here, they feel it over there. So that's what I'm going to say today. But yeah, we'll be sending out some information to you regarding the protest, and we have some flyers. So yeah, thank you.
Peace, everybody. I'm from this hood over here too. We're gonna be passing by my neighborhood where my farm is, and we planted like 60 trees in this neighborhood. I actually ran a youth group that painted all these murals here. Like, I think that was like 8 years ago. Pretty old. So I grew up in this neighborhood my whole life. I literally lived next door to the house I grew up in, and the house I grew up in got taken by Quicken Loans, a mortgage that my parents sent me to Catholic school K-12. They were DPS graduates. They didn't want to send us to DPS, and they took out loans to pay for our high school education. And in 2009, they called me like, "Yo, come home quick, the house is burning." So I was at college at the time. I drove back home, and my house was on fire. And when I got there, there were dudes who were literally taking stuff from inside of our house and putting it in a dumpster. I remember digging through the dumpster for family albums, for all those like little precious things that you accumulate over a lifetime. And that was like just a real traumatic thing for me to experience. And that happened to 200,000 other Detroiters. Literally between 2008 and 2015 or so, 16, 200,000 Detroiters in a city of 700,000 Detroiters lost their homes. As a result of the 2008 financial crisis, 50% of all black wealth across the entire country disappeared. Half of all black wealth. So when we wonder why Detroit was in a bankruptcy process in 2012, what was that all about? That was about the masters, the bankers, the people who caused the financial crisis literally taking over the city. Dan Gilbert's company originated the mortgage that took my parents' house. He's a failed company. 50% of the mortgages he originated in Detroit resulted in foreclosure. And then after that, this motherfucker is buying up downtown and owning up all the property in the downtown area. So all of this is, like, we can protest the government all day, but everything's like corporate control of the government. And that's what we're fighting here in Detroit. And Mike Duggan's an extension of that. But the family that moved in next door is this used to be a super Puerto Rican community. This is, other than Hamtramck, this is the most diverse community in all of Detroit. It's like, this was a Puerto Rican neighborhood, now it's mostly Dominican, there's a ton of Mexicans, there's indigenous people from South America, there's white Appalachian people all over, like there's a lot of Eastern Europeans. It's an incredibly diverse community. I'm super proud that you guys are here. I'm super proud of this community. If I may, I would like to say a couple things about the Yemeni situation. A lot of the folks who have come to the United States in the last 20 years from this area, Yemeni folks have come here in Hamtramck. Huge populations of Yemeni people, New York, Detroit, there's a couple other cities where Yemeni people have lived. And that's because their country has been going through this civil war. I wanted to bring a map, but if you look at the Arabian subcontinent, let's pretend it's like a hand. Yemen is down here between Africa and the Arabian subcontinent at the pinky, and it's kind of like the peninsula is there, and it's surrounded on all sides by the Gulf states. Does anybody which are the Gulf states? Which countries are the Gulf states? Can anybody name them? Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates. I think there may be one more, Qatar, but it's like a complicated situation there. So all of those Gulf states are oil monarchies, and they have a ton of money and a ton of wealth. And Yemen is basically a little tiny country on the corner of their subcontinent that has no money and has been controlled by Saudi Arabia for generations. Before this, they were going through a very extreme drought for the last 10 to 20 years. There's been all sorts of civil war happening there. And what's happening is Saudi Arabia is trying to flatten that city and take over the government because another revolutionary group took power in the country. In the United States, there's a bigger situation where the United States, Israel, and the Gulf states are kind of formed an alliance against Iran and Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. So you saw that bomb in Lebanon the other day. The bigger context is there's a civil war, a Cold War between Israel, United States, UK, Western society, whatever, and Iran in that region. And China's backing Iran. So it's this weird potential World War III jump-off place, this region. And Yemen is one of the fighting grounds where things are happening now. That's just the bigger chessboard that's happening in the Middle East right now. So it's US, Saudi Arabia, Israel versus Iran, China, Russia, whatever, So that's just a really important context for Americans to think about. You guys have been doing a ton of international stuff lately, and I super appreciate that and applaud that, but there's a bigger chessboard that we have to be aware of, and the United States with Israel are super complicit in a lot of bullshit over there. And the bombing of Yemen, there's more than 1 million people who caught cholera. Saudi Arabia has destroyed the ports in that country, so their ability to import grains and export medicine is completely destroyed because the shipping is completely destroyed in that country. They've been totally bombing them, but they can't win because Saudi Arabia is a bunch of rich, it's one family, it's a bunch of rich people, none of them want to be in the military, so they pay poor people from other countries to be in their military, and you can't occupy a mountain people. Yemen is a mountain country in the north. You can't occupy them. They get their asses whooped in the military every day. So it's a really messed up occupation that Saudi Arabia is attempting, trying to flex U.S. muscles on that bullshit. And I just wanted to give you the bigger context. Thank you.
Y'all ready to march? Y'all ready to march? Oh, fly? Yeah.
So I know I have all of the flyers being folded right now, but do I have someone to carry each one of the bags that's out right now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Has everyone volunteered to carry one of those? Yeah. Then we have banners up here. If anyone would like to volunteer to carry the banners as well. We have 2 different banners, so at least 4 people. And that's it. That's about it. That's all I need.